Myself, Raj, and I'm going to take care of this full stack Java with AI course. So the course what we are going to learn over here is full stack Java with AI, means artificial intelligence. And I've divided this course in 8 modules. I've divided this course in the form of 8 modules. That is module 1, we go with the core Java. Module 2, web technologies. Module 3, database concepts. Module 4, advanced Java. Module 5, very important one, frameworks. Module 6, Linux and AWS Cloud. Module 7, we go with the real-time and DevOps tools. And where the last one, module 8, we go with a full stack project. Let me elaborate about each and every module. Initially, let us go with the module 1. This module 1 is core Java. Even we call it as Java SC. What is this Java SC is? Java SC stands for Java Standard Edition. Java SC stands for what? Java Standard Edition. And the use of Standard Edition is used to develop standalone or desktop applications. Used to develop what? Standalone or desktop applications. Examples are like this Notepad, Paint, Calculator, MS Word, Excel, all these are desktop applications. Once we download and install, we need not connect to other system to run the application. They are independent. So core Java is mainly to go with standalone applications. And the contents what we are going to discuss under core Java is initially we go with the programming concepts. So when you want to learn any programming language like C or C++, Java, .NET, PHP or Python, we require a basic idea on programming concepts. Once you are good with this basic idea on programming concepts, entering into any language will be easy for us. Okay. Next, we go with Java introduction. Then we'll be learning about Java introduction and Java features. That is our next class. Next, we go with download and install Java 26 version. The latest version is 26 version on Windows. And even I'm going to guide you how to go with Mac OS. Okay. Once we download and install Java on Windows, we'll see developing a Java application at a command prompt. Since I'm going to use Windows operating system, we'll see how to develop a Java application at command prompt. Even I'm going to guide you how to go with Mac also. The next one, download and install Eclipse IDE. In our course, we are going to make use of an IDE, initially Eclipse IDE. IDE means Integrated Development Environment. Then we'll be learning developing a Java application in Eclipse IDE. So this completes our introduction part of Java, like what is the use of Java and how to download the softwares and how to install and how to develop the applications. Once we have done with this, we go with the next part, Java basics. Java basics. So in this basics, we'll be learning about the meaning of comments, keywords, variables, data types, operators, scanner class, Then we go with the control statements like if statement, switch statement, while loop, do while loop, for loop like this. So this is the place where we start off with the programming. And this is the place where we go with where we increase our programming and logical skills. And once we start with these basics, I'm going to give assignment which you need to do and submit it back. How to submit, I'll elaborate when I go with the first assignment. The next one is arrays. The main need of going with arrays is whenever you want to collect the elements, we make use of arrays concept. So when you declare a variable, we can store only one value. If you want to collect multiple values in one single variable, we make use of arrays. The next and very, very important part of core Java is Java OOP. OOP means object-oriented programming. OOP means what? Object-oriented programming. This is the main base for our Java. And in this, we'll be learning about the meaning of classes, objects, this reference, then constructors, static keyword, packages, inheritance, polymorphism, super reference, then we go with the final keyword, inner classes, access modifiers, encapsulation, abstract classes, interfaces like this. So very, very important one. If you are good with object-oriented programming, understanding remaining topics of Java will be very easy for us. The next topic what we discuss here is LAN package. So the meaning of package is like a folder concept only, where we store related files. Similarly in package, a package is a collection of related classes. In this LAN package, we'll try to understand some of the predefined classes like object class, string class, string buffer class, string builder class, math class, wrapper classes. A very, very simple concept. The next important part of under core Java is exception handling. The meaning of exception is like runtime error. It's what? Runtime error. Once it occurs, the application will get terminated. What is the meaning of runtime error? Once we write the code, in order to see the result of our application, we need to run the application. During that time, if you are getting any errors, we call them as runtime errors or exceptions. And once it occurs, the application will get terminated. So to avoid that abnormal termination, we make use of this exception handling concept. The next one is multi-threading. What is the meaning of multitasking? Multitasking means opening multiple applications. Like example, in my case, I have opened browser, notepad, GoToMeeting like that. You are typing a document in Word and listening to the sound simultaneously. That is multitasking. Then what is a thread? A thread is a part of task. A simple example, if you take Gmail. In Gmail is a task. And in that we open multiple compose messages. Every compose message what we open in Gmail, it is a thread here. So threads are part of one task. And when we go with attachments, in Gmail we can attach multiple files. When first attachment is going on, I can even attach second, third like that. So the advantage is performance. So in order to increase performance, we can make use of this multi-threading. And one more good example is GoToMeeting. So in this GoToMeeting, I can show my screen. It's a thread. I can record the class. It's a thread. I can speak. It's a thread. I can chat. It's a thread. Doing multiple things simultaneously under one task, that is multi-threaded application. Next one more important one, collections. By using arrays also we can collect the elements. By using collections also we can collect the elements. The difference is when we go with arrays, we have to mention the size, how many elements you want to collect. Like example, if you mention size as 100, we can collect maximum 100 only. We cannot increase the size or we cannot decrease the size. So that is a drawback of arrays. Arrays are fixed. But in reality, we cannot go with fixed. That's the place where we go for collections. The next one, we discuss about functional interfaces, Lambda expressions, and Stream API. Very, very important concept. The next one, IO package. The meaning of IO is like input-output package. The need of going with IO package is, what are the programs we write, the data what we use during runtime, it is temporary data. To make the data permanent, we have to store the data in the form of data files or database tables in hard disk. So in order to create data files, we make use of IO package. So these are the topics what we discuss under core Java. Any questions up to here? Can reply through message. Any questions? Moving to the next module, module 2, that is web technologies. Even we call it as UI design, user interface design. UI design, or even we call it as front-end design. The main need of going with this web technologies is used to display the content onto the browser window. Okay, or to develop the web pages. Use it to develop web pages. That is the use of web technologies. And in our course, we'll be learning the web technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap. Then we go with XML and JSON, TypeScript, React, Angular. So both the technologies will be learning React or Angular. So in a project, when we go with front-end, either we can use React or Angular. But in our code, I'm going to teach both the things. This is one more advantage of going with this course. Both the technologies will be learning. So based on the requirement, based on the project requirement, you can use either React or Angular. The next module is module 3, that is database concepts. We'll be learning database concepts or SQL concepts. Here in this case, we'll be learning SQL concepts. SQL means structured query language. Structured query language. So we'll be learning these SQL concepts using MySQL. And even we'll be going with NoSQL. NoSQL using MongoDB. Right? We'll be learning SQL and NoSQL. Then, next module, module 4, which is Advanced Java, or even we call it as Java EE. Advanced Java, Java EE. There are not too much differences between SQL, MySQL and PostgreSQL. Okay, most of the commands look same. Small difference may be there between the databases. Okay. Advanced Java, Java EE. Java EE stands for Java Enterprise Edition. And the use is used to develop web applications. It's mainly for web applications, like the examples of web applications like IRCTC, Amazon, Amazon.com, bookmyshow.com, makeMyTrip.com, okay, something like ICICIbank.com, gmail.com. All these are web applications. And the contents what we'll be learning is JDBC, means Java database connectivity, means from our Java program we can connect to the databases. Then we'll be learning about servlets and JSP. JSP stands for Java Server Pages. So basic idea on these topics are enough in order to understand frameworks. No need to dive too much deep into these topics because nowadays we develop projects using frameworks. The next module is very important module, frameworks. The main need of going with frameworks is it is used to reduce the burden on the developers. So to avoid boilerplate code, what are the code we write repeatedly? To avoid that boilerplate code, we make use of frameworks. And in our codes, we'll be learning the frameworks like Hibernate framework. We go with the Spring framework. Spring framework. Under Spring framework, we'll understand about Spring Core module or Bean module. A basic idea of Spring is enough. Then we go with immediately Spring Boot module. Spring Boot framework. This is very important nowadays. So in Spring Boot, we'll understand Spring Boot introduction. We'll go with the Spring Boot status. Developing a Spring Boot application using Spring Initializer. Then we'll even learn developing a Spring Boot application using STS, Spring Tool Suite. STS we call it as Spring Tool Suite, which is one of the IDE, a simple plugin added to Eclipse IDE, Spring Tool Suite. So this IDE we are going to use. Then we'll be understanding about Spring DAO module, where even we call Spring JDBC module. Then we go with the Spring Data JPM module, very important module. Then Spring Web MVC module. The use of Web MVC is used to develop dynamic web applications. It's for dynamic web applications. The next module under Spring Framework is Spring REST module. One more very important module. The use of going with Spring REST module is used to develop REST APIs. REST APIs. It's mainly for distributed applications. It's for distributed. Right? Now, the need of going with this Spring REST module is like we develop the REST APIs. Means application to application communication only we call distributed. So what we do is in Spring we develop an application which connects to a database and which is going to return some result for us. So what are the result it's returning? Like example, if you want to take result of employee database, we get the list of employees. What are the list of employees we are getting? We create one REST API which connects to database, get the list of employees. That details I want to give to Angular so that Angular will take care of doing the presentation part. So Java is running on one server, Angular is running on one server. So they have to communicate now. That communication between applications we do by using REST APIs. Such type of applications only we call distributed applications. We go with the next important module, Spring Security module. So here we'll be learning about the meaning of authentication and authorization. The meaning of authentication and authorization. Then we'll go with the meaning of how to go with in-memory authentication. Then we'll be learning about JWT, means JSON Web Tokens. It is token-based security. Then we'll be going with OAuth 2.0. So this is, you might have seen, like we sign in using Google or Facebook. Some of the websites where you will be having to sign in with Google or Facebook like this, or Git. Then we'll be even learning Spring Batch module. Then very important part of our course. This is the main important part of our course. Since we said full stack Java with AA. So this is the place where we use more of AA in Java. That is, we'll start off with the Spring AI module. Spring AI module, artificial intelligence module. Here we will be understanding the meaning of AI, the introduction to AI. Then we'll understand about LLM. LLM means large language model. Large language model. Then we'll see how to make use of prompt engineering. This is very important, prompt engineering, and we'll understand what is the meaning of this generative AI. And we'll be using this Gen AI using Spring AI. How to go with Gen AI using Spring AI, that also we are going to discuss. This is the main important module of our course. This is the newly added one in our course. Right. So any questions up to here? Even we are going to discuss microservices architecture using Spring Boot. We will be developing microservices applications using Spring Boot. The next module in our course, module 6, where we'll go with Linux and AWS Cloud. This is nowadays very important. So when we develop the project, we have to deploy the project onto the cloud so that other people can able to access it using the resources. So that's the main reason we go with this cloud concept, that we use AWS. Here we'll be understanding about what is the use of this cloud computing, introduction. Then we'll go with AWS introduction. Then we'll be going with AWS account creation. How to create an account in AWS. Then we'll see about Linux. Then we'll understand about how to install installation of Linux in EC2 of AWS. How to install Linux in AWS. Then we'll go with Linux commands. Then we'll even learn how to install Java in Linux. Then installing Maven tool in Linux. Then we go with AWS services. Then next one, we'll understand about S3 buckets. So for storing large amount of data, we go for S3 buckets. Then very important concept, load balancing. So when whatever the web application we create, if the users are increasing, how to balance that load. For that, we go for load balancing and we go for RDS, remote database server. Then we'll be learning deploying a Spring Boot application in AWS. So once we deploy a Spring Boot application in AWS, other people can able to access anywhere. If I deploy the application here in my system using AWS, you can even access that application on your system also. That also we are going to see practically. Next one, module 7, where we discuss some of the important real-time tools and DevOps tools. So here we'll be learning the tools like Maven tool, GitHub tool, then we go with JUnit, with Mockito, then we go with Lombok, then Postman, Zira. It's for project, it's for agile development. It's to assign the task to the developers. Project management tool, Jira tool. We go with Log4j tool. It's for logging purpose. Then we'll go with the JMeter. It's for performance testing. Use it for performance and load testing. We go for JMeter. Then Redis cache, which we call remote dictionary server. Remote dictionary server. It is mainly to increase the performance of database operations. It's mainly to access the static data. Then we go with Swagger. Swagger. It's mainly for documenting REST APIs. Documenting REST APIs. Then we go for Jacoco. It is Java code coverage. Then we go with the DevOps tools like Docker, Jenkins, and Kubernetes. So these are the tools we'll be learning in module 7. And finally, module 8, we go with a full stack project. Full stack Java project. So we developed this project using Spring Boot, Microservices, and Angular. The front end part we develop using Angular. So these are the modules what we are going to cover in our course. And the duration of this course goes with 5 months. And the time will be, the classes will be from Monday to Friday. The classes will be from Monday to Friday. It is for 1 hour max. The classes will be for 1 hour max. Okay, at 11 a.m. IST. The classes will be at 11 a.m. IST Monday to Friday, and the class will go for 1 hour max. Then the class notes, source codes, and recordings will be shared after that. Will be shared within 2 hours. Within 2 hours after the class. It's a regular practice. Then GoToMeeting link is permanent. Till end of the course, you can use the same link to join the classes, right? And in order to get these notes and in future source codes, the recordings of today's class, please send a test mail. Please send a test mail to rajonlinejava@gmail.com. So this is my email ID for communication to send the notes, source codes, and recordings. Please send a test mail suggested to go with Gmail ID. Suggested with Gmail ID. so that I'll take care of sending the documents and recordings with you. Right? So any questions up to here? Right. So take a screenshot or make a note of my email ID. I've even sent through chat message. rajonlinejava@gmail.com. Right. And that's about the simple demo part today. And in next class, I'm going to start with a topic that is programming concepts. To enter into any programming language, this idea is required. And after tomorrow, we'll go with the Java introduction and Java features. Right? Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you, and see you tomorrow with programming concepts. Thank you.